right, so I got a new audio setup. Hopefully it's working, and it's not too loud or weird. So today I went with some wide grip underhand pull-ups or chin-ups, I should say. This is something that I recently started doing, and I really like it because I've got really broad shoulders, and I'm so used to doing close grip underhand, and so I tried this, and I actually got a better biceps response than I do with close grip pull ups a lot. So, close grip chin ups. So, you'll also notice as I come up here, I'm feeling really strong today. My shoulders basically hit the parallel bars that are coming out of my pull up bar. See, that last one, I didn't quite get there. And you'll see that I don't really get that high up in the following sets either, obviously, because fatigue is setting in, right? So, and also, you may be wondering why I'm wearing a hat. Sometimes the gods just aren't on your side, and you wake up and your hair's a mess, and you just don't, you don't want to deal with it. So you pop a hat on, and it's all fixed. So, all right, cool. First one, I got my shoulders pretty high. Second one, not quite, right? So that first set, I got like probably 5 or 6 reps where I was really high up in the bar, and now I'm just barely getting my chin over it. And that's one thing I want to address is just because you are doing more reps of something does not mean that you're actually progressing. So my goal with these specific chin ups, this chin up variation is instead of increasing my maximum reps, I want to focus on increasing the number of reps I can do where my shoulders actually touch those parallel bars as I go up. This last set, I get one really high, and this next one, I can not as bad as I thought. Um, but yeah, I really like this variation. My biceps can get worked really well, and arms are kind of my weak point. Obviously, back isn't. So that's just the variation I chose to do today. I really like this one, so I'm putting it in the rotation. That's a struggle. And all right, good job, pass Nick. Good job stopping there because they were not going to look pretty after that. Today, just went with a simple push up. So starting out here, took lessons from the day before and really focused on keeping my lower abdomen activated and stable so that I'm not having too much extension or lordosis through my lumbar spine. Really trying to make sure that my form is good, not really going fast, not going for maximum reps, going more for control because that's going to help me build strength uh, a lot better, especially like controlled strength, not just repping it out as many as possible. So you can see, start to get a little tired there, and I stop, right? Because my form was breaking down, didn't want to do stuff with bad form. So this next set I go into, and I kind of try to hold the bottom position a little bit longer. Um, So with hypertrophy, which is one thing that I value just because I like having muscle. It's nice. When I was younger, I didn't have a lot of muscle. Having a lot of muscle is nice. And getting more tension and going into the range of motion where the muscle is more stretched is going to stimulate a hypertrophic response better. But you can see here, I'm getting tired. The lower back is starting to go a little more into extension. So I can't imagine I'm going to do a lot more here. Yep, there we go. All right, keeping it clean. Now this last one, I wanted to focus on eccentric. So I tried to do like a 5-second eccentric lowering just to reinforce the control of the movement. Also, eccentric movements have been shown to be the most effective type of movement when you are looking for hypertrophy. And again, I don't train for hypertrophy every day, but occasionally I like to stay in that like 8 to 15 rep range, which for me, I know stimulates a lot of hypertrophy. Didn't get a lot of reps on that one because eccentrics are hard. I know Kung Fu today, so we're going with We call them in Kung Fu Tum Tuis. These are pistol squats, basically. Have some trouble with that left, some trouble with that left side trying to get the balance. But as I do it more, and my body's like, okay, we're doing pistol squats now. Got it. Stability gets a little better. I've gotten up to like 12 reps of these when I'm like really going up and down, using the momentum. But today, again, I want to focus more on control, especially eccentric control. So I'm really only getting 5 of these today. Another reason I'm not doing a ton of reps with legs on this day is because the following day, so this was Friday, on Saturdays, I teach Kung Fu for 2.5 hours, and then I have my own hour and a half, 2 hour class. And that's a lot of stance work. That's a lot of leg conditioning. So didn't want to go high reps and really cause a ton of fatigue in the legs because I knew I was going to get that the next day. And I certainly did. Right? So again, balance is a little off on that left side. It's something I need to work on. But really, really trying to focus on that slow, controlled lowering. Oh, right side's not doing great either. Nice and slow and push up. And one thing I do notice with pistol squats is I do feel when I do my right side, I get a lot more quad activation. And my left side don't quite get the same quad, like my hips take over a lot. And I contribute that to just some pelvic obliquity that I struggle with. Not anything crazy to worry about, but it is something that I am mindful of, and so I try to help load that left quad a little better. Right? Look at that. Didn't lose balance on the left side this time. All right. Right side, coming down, coming back up. So this is a really important skill to have in Kung Fu, but it's also a great way to load the muscles of the leg more without loading your spine or having to grab weights and put them on your back. Not that I wouldn't suggest that, it's just not what I'm going for. So I decided to treat myself today and do some bicep and tricep isolation. I had the time, I had the energy, and so I just figured let's just do 2 supersets of bicep curls with the rings. Again, nice and slow and controlled, really focusing on getting a nice stretch in that bicep at the end. Nice activation as we're pulling up. Right? So again, this is a little more hypertrophy work for the arms today. And so right there, you'll notice that I brought my arms up a little higher over my head versus just coming to my chin. The reason for that is I wanted to really get a maximal contraction out of the bicep. And one of the heads of the bicep, the long head of the bicep, is also it also helps with shoulder flexion. And so I got the maximal flexion from the elbow, and then I wanted to get a little more flexion at the shoulder. So that's just why I changed that up in the middle. And then here, get those metal things out of the way. And we're going to do tricep extension, kind of a similar way to do it. But again, I really want to load that stretch at the bottom, push up. Load that stretch nice and slow, push up, right? Did I need to do this arm work? No. But some days you feel like you want to do something, you have the energy, you have the time, you have a little extra time in your day, you just want to do it. And you do it, right? I knew it wasn't going to make me super fatigued for the next day. I wasn't sore in my arms from the previous day. And I wanted to do some, hypertrophy. Again, just wanted to treat myself to a little bit of arm hypertrophy here. And you can look at my face. I'm struggling a little bit. And that's the cool thing with rings is depending on how high you set them, the angle that you're doing the exercise, and even the position of your body, you can make it more difficult or less difficult in many different ways. So today the rings are a little higher than I usually do with tricep extension because I wanted to do a superset. And so I kept my body a little more rigid and allowed my elbows to move more forward to load the triceps more. Then as I got tired, I can back off of that resistance if I wanted to get a few more reps with good form. So here, straight back to the bicep curls. It's just a really cool way that you can do isolation work for the arms without needing weights. Right? And you'll see I do a little turn, a little pronation with my hands at the end. Couple reasons for this. One, I just like how it feels. I feel like I get full range in my shoulders and my elbow for the pronation and supination. And so I try to pronate as much as I can in order to get that stretch of the biceps under load, because the biceps do supinate the forearm, they help supinate. And so if I can lengthen the biceps here and then supinate, get a little extra stretch under that load, it'll just give the biceps a little more stimulus. All right, and this is going to be our last set. Just going through that tricep extension again. I noticed I was going a little fast, so I tried to slow it down a little bit. I'm not going to get as many reps on this one because, again, I'm building up some of the fatigue in the arms. Today, we're focusing a little more on the arms because we know the next day we're going to build up a lot of fatigue, a lot of volume, a lot of intensity in the legs, not so much in the arms. Our style of Kung Fu is very much like a lot of stance work, leg work, kicking, low stances, transitioning into and out of stances. So it really requires a lot from the legs, a lot of jumping too. So I just saved my legs for the next day. All right, and that's the end. And you can see I'm a little fatigued looking at the camera at the end there, but that's just the exercises from that day. And it's just goes to show you, like, with bodyweight stuff, there's a lot of options, there's a lot of variations, a lot of angles you can hit, and not every exercise needs to be strictly this form. This is how you do this exercise. It's more like a variety of movements we want to train. Now, if I was going for getting the biggest muscles possible, yeah, I would probably want to train just a few movements and really make sure I'm increasing weight and reps, regardless of like how the reps look. But I'm not working straight for hypertrophy. I'm looking for strength, hypertrophy, and longevity. And if that means that I can't optimize my hypertrophy, I'm okay with that. I like to feel good. This type of training makes me feel good. When I was training with weights, I got really fatigued. My body just couldn't handle all the volume, and I was grumpy. I wasn't a nice person to be around. So I really like my life with this training right now. And I just modify it depending on what I need. So let me know if you guys like these types of videos by commenting below. If you are having pain that keeps you from doing this type of training or doing any of the training that you like, whether it be hypertrophy, strength, endurance, whatever exercise you want, if you have pain keeping you from doing that, go to paintopeak.com, check out all of our free resources. I made that website and that program specifically for people who are trying to be active and stay healthy, but who are struggling with pain. So check that out, paintopeak.com, download the free ebook, and check out the musculoskeletal pain model and a ton of free blog posts on musculoskeletal pain. And again, let me know if you like this stuff. Let me know what you want to see. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And I'll see you next time.